welcome to The Burning of the Midnight Lamp, where we are dissecting music history, album by album, and track by track. And we have arrived at the last track on our David Bowie Hours journey, his album from 1999. It's an album called The Dreamers, which actually was once suggested as the potential title for the whole album. And we'll, as usual, just going to start by listening to the track, and then we will discuss it afterwards. why the chimes out here. It's reaching the end of the song. Track number 10, The Dreamers.
Yeah, it's the end of the song, but it sounds like an end song. It sounds like an end title song or a finale of a musical.
Mm-hmm.
This is Bowie in showboat mode.
It's an odd song. It starts off, there are 3 parts of it. First part, which is probably the one that I enjoy the most, and then they have the Shallow Man part, the Bo Diddley rhythm, and then the musical-ish chorus. So it goes.
Yeah, there is some Scott Walker-ish influences here.
Yeah, it's the singing. I
Mm.
think
Mm-hmm.
this is all pathos.
But it's an interesting enough track.
Yeah, I mean, it's compared to the more pop leanings on at least the majority of the album, it sticks out alongside New Angels of Promise and Brilliant Adventure for that matter. Those 3 last songs there seems to belong to another album, maybe.
Yeah, that you could say.
Yeah,
And maybe number 6 is what's really happening as well.
this as brilliant adventure. It sounds like a soundtrack song. It sounds like it needed visuals, needed some heroes going into the sunset, the type of visuals, because this is a song that I remember enjoying it the first time, thinking, "Wow, this is a great ending." But hearing it again, it's more kitschy, or the grand finale that almost. It's not 100% grand finale, but it's maybe 80%.
I'm not sure how to describe the chorus. It sounds a bit dated. Could be a Eurovision track or something like that even.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to say that.
It also reminds me of something that maybe could have probably specific songs, Bud of Suburbia. It sort of feels a little bit like it could fit alongside some of those tracks. Written for the game, of course. And in this the game Omicron, the Nomad Soul, and in this game Bowie appears as 2 characters. Actually, is a band member in the and the band is called The Dreamers. They don't perform this song, but they perform 3 other songs from ours, such as Child, Survive, and The Pretty Things Are Going to Hell. And you there have Bowie as an avatar alongside with Reeves Gabrels and Galen Dorsey on the bass guitar. But Bowie also plays another role in this game where he's more an actual character in the band that has lines and all that. The band The Dreamers, they are only playing the music. So Bowie plays a character called Boss, and he is leader of The Awakened. You have The Dreamers and you have The Awakened. I wonder if that is a coincidence or not.
Interesting.
Probably not.
That's the key. How we understand the lyric.
Melancholic song. Nicholas Pegg mentioned Scott Walker. He talked about the lyrics as Scott Walker-esque. And he said that the black-eyed ravens, they spiral down, seem to echo the lyric of This Is Not America.
I also saw now that he actually has tilt in the lyrics.
Yeah. They tilt his head back.
Mm.
Is it a Western? Look at the lyrics. Black-eyed ravens, they spiral down, they tilt his head back to the flame-filled sunset, raise their guns high. As the darken falls, these are the days, boys.
You'll put that to
The voiceover of Chris.
The right-
Country and
right
western,
images.
country and western rhythm. Those lyrics that would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a bad song. It's not a great song, but
Mm.
it's a it justifies its place on the album, I would say.
Yeah, I guess you could say it's a fitting ending for what seems to be one of Bowie's more mediocre albums.
Yeah, I think we need to call it that.
Yeah, most people will agree.
We have discussed it before in the podcast how ours was rated 22nd place on the list of Bowie albums by different publications actually. And I initially thought that was a bit harsh, but yeah, as we discussed before, what would we put behind it? And it probably is at that around that location, I would say, when you compare the rest of the Bowie albums. So, but that probably says more about David Bowie. I mean, it's not a bad album in any
No.
ways.
Mm.
It just compared to the wealth of other music Bowie has, it maybe doesn't stand quite up to the majority of that.
No, it is. It is probably one of his albums that I listened the least to. Mm.
And as we said before, it's an odd album. Many songs they overstay their welcome. They could have been cut down a minute or two, and he has some great tracks that are cut off the album and put out as B-sides. We Shall Go to Town, and We All Go Through, and No One Calls. So there's something in the editing and the mixing, and something went wrong along the way. But the songs are not. It's not many. There's not a song that is bad. So you could say this is a horrible misstep on Bowie's behalf. But there's something in the execution of the final product as an album that doesn't succeed completely.
Mm.
Makes it an album that I think haven't read many people claiming that this is a Bowie album they love. It's a hard to love album,
Even when you try.
even when
I
you
think
try.
it's hard to
Mhm.
love it.
No, I definitely agree. I mean, it came out during the period that was for me it was probably peak Bowie fandom, and that time I think we are great Bowie apologetics, we
Yeah.
could say, and at that time I loved the album just because it was another Bowie album, I think. But now 25 years, it's actually been 25 years later.
Quarter of century.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't quite stand up as good as it I felt it did back then. Mm.
No, I have the same feeling. Absolutely. Mm.
Yeah, I remember back in the CDR days when you made compilations, mixtapes on CD, and you always made some track lists of Bowie compilations where you would take one song from each album, for instance. So very hard to pick a song from ours if you had to choose just one song out of Low, and
It's not easier on those albums. is
no, it's not easier, but
What?
you could put the whole Low instead of one
Yeah,
song
yeah.
from ours.
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
almost.
So Chris, you're making a mixtape with one song from ours. Which one is it?
Yeah, probably Thursday's Child, because that's a nice song, and but I will again urge everyone interested in Bowie to listen to the B-sides. We Shall Go to Town. It's much better than most of this album, and We All Go Through, and No One Calls. That's a long song, but I think it's a great hypnotic rhythm you get into. So it's not too long, even though it's very simplistic. So yeah, the B-sides are better than the album on this on this one.
At least part of the albums.
Part of the album.
Yeah. How about you, Trond?
No, I'll just go for the one that felt most surprising in a way to me today. New Angels of Promise.
Yeah, I would have to pick up between those two as well. Thursday's Child or New Angels of Promise. Today, listening to it now, that was the one that was. Obviously, we listened to the whole album in one day, and that was the track that I enjoyed the most today, at least. So, yeah.
Yeah, me by far, it was.
So it goes.
So it goes. Last of the Dreamers.
Well, at least the last of the Bowie albums of the 1900s.
Yeah. And how about you? Listen to this or viewing us here. What's your favorite track on ours, if you have any? Let us know in the comments below. And by that, I think we reached the end of this album. We'll be back shortly with another album.
Not Bowie?
Not Bowie. Could possibly be another Sparks album, maybe. We'll see. And yeah, so you just have to wait for that. For us, it might be a couple of weeks, but for you, probably only a couple of days. So we'll need to thank you all for listening in. Please remember to like and subscribe so you get notified when we drop another album. And remember, we also have a podcast where we are discussing these albums at length. And we have a Patreon where you can get early access to everything that we release here on YouTube. My name is Frode.
My name is Chris.
My name is Trond.
And you must all have a brilliant adventure, or at least a very good day.
Good night.
Keep dreaming.